Hey, what's up? I'm Dan from TheBreakdown, and I'm joined by
Jordan from Anodyne.
When did you first start playing drums, and what made you gravitate towards drums versus some of the other instruments?
I don't know, I just was always curious and I guess just had a passion for playing as far as drums go. Even before I had a kit, I made a makeshift set with like a bunch of pots and pans and all that kind of stuff,
So that was the start, huh?
Yeah. And I think my parents realized at that time that maybe it was time to help me out with getting a drum kit. So so that's pretty much how I started playing drums. And then as far as just getting in the metal and hardcore scene, started going to local shows in San Diego, like punk bands, hardcore bands, whatnot. And I think about a year and a half later, after I started playing, I was like 14 at the time, I joined this I guess somewhat established like metalcore band, hardcore band, that was like at my high school, and at that point they had graduated and were like kind of playing local shows and stuff. And they gave me a chance, and I just started playing with them. And I just started playing a bunch of local shows, like hardcore shows at churches, like youth halls and stuff like that.
So do you come from a musical background? Does your family, was that like an influence you got from your parents, or was it something you just picked up by yourself?
Not necessarily. I mean, I guess my parents were partially musical, like singing in choirs and all that kind of stuff, but they like most like parents and stuff like that, they they try to encourage me in the right ways, whether it was sports, like I played baseball for many years.
Right.
And once I started playing drums, I didn't really care about anything else. I stopped playing sports, stopped skating, doing all that stuff, and that's all I wanted to do with my extra time. Like when I was off from school, was just play drums. And they were very, very, very supportive. Although they didn't really understand it, to the full extent, they were very supportive.
So what made you gravitate towards the hardcore and metal scene? What was it that made you say that's the kind of music that I want to play?
Well, I think metal in general is just something that like I always wanted to listen to, whether I knew what it was or not. Like I would listen to records, and I just always wanted to listen to something heavier, something more aggressive. And I think one of the first metal records I got was a Pantera record, and it was a Pantera Megadeth, and I knew that like I just loved heavy music, and I wanted to play heavy music, and from there I kind of got introduced to like more hardcore bands and stuff like that, through the local scene, and just I guess that community. I mean, as much as I was really involved, I wasn't really that involved with it, but I kind of just snowballed into Tim and I meeting up through local bands and stuff like that, and we decided to start Anodyne, and just decided to play heavy music. I mean, that was our goal. It wasn't like, oh, we need to sound like this, we need to sound like that. It was just, we want to play heavy music, and that was it.
Do you ever worry that Anodyne will kind of move towards what the scene is doing, and how conscious are you of what the other bands are doing, and you say, okay, I see where everyone else is moving to, maybe let's try to go in a different direction so that we can kind of set ourselves apart? Does that ever go through your mind, or do you just go and put down a record that Anodyne would make?
Yeah, we just make an Anodyne record. I mean, there's been a progression, like that you can hear from record to record, but I always feel like it's a progression like towards like the heavier side of metal, and just better songs in general. I mean, we don't try to like pick up the trends and try to follow it. We just we do what we do, and and we write a record that we all like and that we think our fans will like. So
when you guys are recording an album, how soon can you or maybe the rest of the band tell how good the album is going to be in just a really short time span? Is it 3, 4, 5 songs in, or after a couple songs can you already tell, well, I think we got something really good here?
Well, I mean, I think that's all part of the writing process. I mean, just because the tracks are in a certain order doesn't mean that they're written in that order.
Right.
So some of the the songs towards the end of the record like might have been written first, which actually they were. The way we try to make a track listing is obviously create some we try to create some sort of impact for the listener, and yeah, that's about it.
Do you ever get a chance to step back and think, I remember when it was just us, a couple of guys hanging out in San Diego, and here we are touring the world, playing in front of hundreds or thousands of people. Do you ever get a chance to step back and be like, wow, I really appreciate this, is really cool?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's something I try to be conscious of every day. I mean, some days you forget and you're busy and got things to do and shows to play, but I really enjoy what I do, and I'm very passionate about it, and I feel very fortunate to be able to do this. I mean, although I wanted to be in a band when I was younger and was very passionate about heavy music, I never thought that I would be doing this, or lucky enough to do this. And so we feel very fortunate. I think that that goes for our fans, being so supportive of what we do, and being as passionate about our music as we are. So I think that's something that we appreciate, for sure.
You're respected as one of the most talented drummers in the scene. Are you constantly working on your trade? Are you constantly working on your craft? And who are people that you go to, whether it's on tours or friends? Do you have somebody that coaches you, or that points things out and says, hey, try working on this or do something like that? Or is it mostly just you working on your trade by yourself?
It's usually just me by myself. I think trying to broaden my style and just what I do on each record. It usually happens during the writing process, and when the record comes out and I have all these really difficult songs to play, usually it's just about maintenance while I'm on tour, and just making sure I can play those parts right, and give all the people that are coming to the show a good performance. So.
For fans who may be a little bit unfamiliar with As They Lay Dying or your music, where can they go to find your music and to listen to you guys?
Normal outlets. I mean, record stores, iTunes, all that kind of stuff. I think MySpace might have some streaming songs, but that's about it.
Cool.
So,
well, the new album, The Powerless Rise, is out everywhere now. You can find it on iTunes. You can also find it in stores. You can make sure to check them out on the Cool Tour. You guys will be out for at least a couple more weeks on this, right?
No, we only got another week left.
One more week left, so you got a couple more stops. Yeah. Do you guys have plans after that?
Taking a break, doing some one-off shows here and there, and then we have another headline tour coming up in the fall. I don't think it's going to... Actually, I think doing some Texas shows, but mainly it's just going to be Canada.
Okay.
And stuff, so... and then go to Europe, and then after that, I'm not really sure.
Cool. Well, we appreciate your time. Yeah. Good luck on the rest of the tour. Make sure to check out As They Lay Dying on iTunes and also their MySpace, and we'll see you guys next time. All right? Peace.